Turn out the lights, light a candle, and get ready to be spooked. In honor of Halloween approaching, we're going to look at one of the most famous ghost legends around. You better keep your head on a swivel for this one. If you've ever been to a slumber party or a late night campfire, you've likely heard of the legend of Bloody Mary. And no, we're not talking about the drink. We're talking about Bloody Mary, well, I probably shouldn't say it a third time, just in case. The legend that is said to make a spirit appear in the mirror of a dark lit room has been around for years. But where did it come from? And who is Bloody Mary? Today on Feed My Curiosity, we're going to examine the origins of the folklore surrounding Bloody Mary and figure out how it became the widespread legend that it is today. In case you're unfamiliar with Bloody Mary, it's a common stunt at late-night gatherings used to scare anyone willing to stretch the limits of their beliefs. The legend claims that a ghost will appear in a candlelit room if someone looks into a mirror and chants the name Bloody Mary. Some say it takes 3 utterances of the name for Bloody Mary to appear in the mirror, but others say 13 or more. The spirit is said to be vengeful, but its actions vary from scaring the person to scratching their eyes out to abducting them and taking them into the spirit world. Regardless, it's probably safe to assume that a ghost isn't going to be too psyched about being summoned to a children's slumber party. For such a well-known urban legend, there is a surprising lack of agreement on the actual identity of the original Bloody Mary. One of the more common theories is that the legend is derived from the life of the first Queen of England, Queen Mary I, who over time developed the nickname, you guessed it, Bloody Mary. She reigned from 1553 until her death in 1558, and was the only child of the famously violent King Henry VIII and his first wife, Catherine of Aragon. Desperate for a male heir, Henry annulled his marriage and remarried Anne Boleyn, with the hopes of producing a son to take over the throne. The two worked to declare Mary illegitimate, and she plummeted down the list for a seat at the throne. Over time and perseverance, she eventually worked her way back into power, but was confronted with her own problem, an inability to get pregnant. She experienced many false pregnancies and may have suffered from uterine or ovarian cancer. Her inability to bring life into this world may have indirectly impacted her attainment of the nickname Bloody Mary. In political maneuverings, she sought to return England back to Catholicism and set into place strict heresy laws that led to over 300 Protestants being burned to death at the stake. Her sad life came to an end, likely from supposed cancer, at the age of 42. But her murderous legacy and that infamous nickname lived on. Aside from Queen Mary I, there are a few other interesting theories as to the origin of Bloody Mary. There is Queen Mary of Scots, who ruled over Scotland around the same time as Queen Mary I in England. This Mary wasn't as directly involved with death as the other Mary, but it seemed to follow her eerily throughout her life. She married her first cousin, who went on to stab a man 56 times in front of her and then was eventually killed. Some speculated that she had been responsible, and she was eventually imprisoned and beheaded. All that violence in her life would seem to make her a strong candidate for a vengeful existence in the afterlife, but we will never know. Not all theories of Bloody Mary include people from royalty, however. There is one theory that Bloody Mary is the name of a more modern victim who died in a violent car wreck that mutilated her face. There is also the story of an American woman named Mary Worth, who is thought to have dabbled in the dark arts. Some say she captured runaway slaves and tortured them, but others claim she snatched local children and used their blood to make herself more useful. Legend has it that she was eventually caught and burned at the stake, sending her evil spirit off to haunt children for generations to come. There are even stories of the property where Worth was buried, exhibiting unusual, possibly paranormal activity, culminating in the house built on top of her gravesite, mysteriously burning to the ground in 1986. It is entirely possible that the myth of Bloody Mary is completely made up, a simple, playful party trick to try and spook young children at slumber parties. But it is also possible that for a legend like this to have endured all these years, there could be some shred of truth to it. In the end, there is really only one way to find out if the legend of Bloody Mary is true. Are you brave enough to try it? Happy Halloween from all of us at Feed My Curiosity. If you've liked what you watched, or have any more suggestions, hit like and comment below. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button too. Thanks for watching, and we hope to see you next time on Feed My Curiosity.